I initiated a peaceful protest to advocate for the right of motorcycles to travel on freeways. The authorities treat motorcycle riders as if they are committing serious crimes. Despite the law allowing large displacement motorcycles to use the freeways, they still use violence to exclude motorcycles from the freeways. However, I was arrested by the police and charged with multiple offenses. As a result, I held a press conference to denounce this injustice. This is Poem of Biker, an advocate of traffic safety, equal rights of way, and a junior high school teacher. During the past 3 years, I've been delivering knowledge related to traffic via my YouTube channel and FB fan page, expecting myself to demonstrate manners of public affairs participation to my students, while helping our next generation step out the traffic hell via communication with the society. I'm not some internet celebrities that rely on viral clips to make a living, but a citizen that has a decent job who spends his spare time to rights of way. During the past 1 year, in addition to preparing and attending serial Stop Killing Pedestrians parades, I also launched several social movements for bigger bikes to drive on Taiwan freeways. As such, rights for bigger bikes are actually a regulation passed 12 years ago legitimately via 3 readings. Said regulation is never implemented even till now. We tried every single legal method in the system, including legislator lobbying, launching petitions, and holding rallies, though we never received any proper responses from the authorities. We never even had one hearing. Thus, civil disobedience is the only method we could use. Through riding bikes on Taiwan freeways, which is against current regulations, relevant issues could be revealed while making social communication with more drivers possible, plus obtaining rights relief via constitutional and administrative litigations. However, at 6 a.m. on May the 2nd, right when I headed for work, I was arrested by 4 police officers with warrants. The reason on the warrants wasn't that I was absent for court summons, but because I was severely suspicious, as they determined that I was likely to involve in evidence suppression and collusion. Thus, they could directly arrest me without court summons. Then the police began seizing my cell phone, laptop, and hard drive right before I was escorted from Taipei to Kaohsiung. Completing my statements at the police station, finishing the detention court at Taiwan Jiaotu Dist, prosecutor's office, and adjudicated for interrogation, it was near midnight. I would like to reiterate here that even if my measures to social movements are traffic violations, I never shirk administrative duties generated from civil disobedience. All tickets from my activities were paid on time. Such activities never damage public interests or cause substantial risks. Considering that the prosecutorial offices may have concerns over infraction, I am strongly willing to cooperate with their investigation too. Nonetheless, direct arrest without court summons not only damages my reputation and rights to work, but also harms my human rights and freedom of speech. Focusing on the violation of proportionality during my investigation, I'd like to propose the following questions. To National Police Agency and the 5th Police Brigade. First, while arresting me on May the 2nd, as the incident was abrupt, I considered it necessary to collect evidence to protect myself. Why did the policeman threaten me violently, shut my camera down, and infringed my legal rights to collect evidence? Secondly, during the process of arresting and making statements, I cooperated thoroughly, though the 5th Police Brigade still used restraints on me the whole time, which was nearly 15 hours. I'd like to know, what is the basis for the 5th Brigade to use restraints on me the entire time? Could the restraints be regarded as a punishment for my protest in your area of jurisdiction? Then I'd like to inquire the Ministry of Justice, which accused me of offenses against public safety, offenses of obstructing an officer in discharge of duties, and sedition, while citing Article 76(3) of Code of Criminal Procedure. Facts sufficient to justify a view that the accused may destroy, forge, or alter evidence or conspire with a co-offender or witness to arrest me without issuing summons. Now, what was your fact to make the judgment afterwards? All my protests on freeways during the past year were provided with public posts and videos. The police officers have recorded for the whole course using body cameras or similar devices. So who would I be able to destroy the evidence? How could I conspire with a co-offender? Even if all relevant evidence was public, authorities have arrested me directly, searching and seizing my cell phone, laptop, and hard drive. Did your actions comply with proportionality? Isn't this an abuse from authorities to suppress social activists? Did you attempt to use this way to silence me from speaking out on major social issues? I chose to stand out before the investigation ends because authority abuses by prosecutorial offices could hazard public interest severely. When civil society organizations conduct civil disobedience, their purposes aim at highlighting irrationalities in the system through non-violent means. Still, such organizations wouldn't disobey simply because they want to. The ultimate goals still pin at an ideal of Rechtsstaat, state of law for Taiwan people. It is precisely because the consent to the rule of law, we hope that authorities may act in accordance with laws. It is also why I put my goals into action, while civil disobedience is merely one of the measures. After protests, it is necessary to fight for rights via legal means. However, currently our government dares to postpone a bill for 12 years after passing it, and when citizens object via civil disobedience, their deeds become major crimes. They are arrested once they go out. Their laptops, cell phones are seized. Not to mention their private conversations and messaging apps are all listed as evidence for their crimes. Why? Isn't this the same as the period of martial law, having the public bathe in fear? What concerns me the most isn't my judicial trial to take place in the future. Rather, I won't be the last activist to be treated this way. Moreover, as a teacher, how do I tell my students that social progress requires active participation of every citizen? Or am I supposed to tell them that protecting themselves from offending the government is the wise choice? Lastly, I herein appeal sincerely to the Ministry of Justice and the National Police Agency. Please explain to citizens of Taiwan, upon reaching 37 years after the martial law was lifted, how could the laws established to bring justice to people become the torture instrument to persecute our freedom of speech?